Last week, we were discussing from chapter 26, wherein one day, without informing his queen, Puranjana, riding on a beautiful golden chariot, equipped with lot of weapons, went to the forest for hunting. He hunted so many animals and he felt tired. He came home, took bath, ate some food, and took some rest. After being relieved of his fatigue, he got up. Then he remembered his wife. So that is what we were discussing in the last week. And from there on, we'll continue today. In the 11th verse, it was said that then, exhausted from hunger and thirst, he gave up hunting and returned home. He took bath and ate proper food, and being refreshed, took rest. He then worshipped himself with incense, ointments, and garland. With well-groomed body, he then remembered his queen. So the understanding is that Jiva, without listening to one's proper discriminative religious intelligence, goes for sense gratification. After doing sense gratification, which is against dharma, one remembers about the principles of dharma, the code of righteous conduct. Then he kind of gives up that mentality to continue the sinful activities. He calls brahmanas, performs atonement ceremonies, gives charity to the brahmanas. Then what else mentioned here? And then he gives up performing any more sinful activities, and then he becomes steady within his own mind. He becomes steady. Then he offers the gifts to the brahmanas and gifts to the invited guests and devotees. Then he hears from those brahmanas what to do, what not to do, etc. etc. Thus, he was somewhat purified within his own heart. And coming to his previous condition, he wanted to follow his discriminative intelligence henceforward, not to say no to his discriminative intelligence. Always take good consultation from his discriminative intelligence. So that was the scenario. That's how Puranjana remembered his wife. That means the Jiva remembers one's own discriminative intelligence. So let us see what happened afterwards. What did he do? What did the Puranjana do? Tripto rushta suttruptascha kandarpa nagachastavararoham grihinim grihamedinim.
After taking his dinner and having his thirst and hunger satisfied, King Puranjana felt some joy within his heart. Instead of being elevated to the higher consciousness, he became captivated by Cupid and was moved by a desire to find his wife, who kept him satisfied in his household life. Prabhuji, we are not able to see the screen.
No, not able to see?
No.
Okay, 1 second. Now you are able to see?
Yes.
Hare Krishna?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for informing that. Otherwise, we would have continued like that only. So, here, satisfied, joyful, and very proud. Trupto, Rishta, and Sudrupta. His mind enamored by Cupid. Kandarpa akrishta manasaha. He did not see his beautiful wife. Na vyachasta vararoham grihinim gruhamedinim. So, having come back home, having taken bath, having rested for a while, after having nice food and drink, when he got up, he was satisfied, he was joyful, and he became proud. His mind enamored by Cupid. He did not see his beautiful wife. That was the story. This verse indicates that his impressions of sinful life had left him. So that means somewhat the Puranjana completely forgot about his hunting expedition. When he went for hunting, he was not thinking about his wife. After coming back, after resting for a while, he forgot about his expedition of hunting. Now he remembered his wife. So that is the understanding. So this verse indicates that the Jiva's impressions of sinful life had left him. Because the Jiva, after performing some sinful activities, became morose, became regretted, and then he performed atonements. He gave charity to the invited Brahmanas, and he heard good instructions from them. He somewhat became calm and pacified and regained his previous proper code of conduct, how to do, what to do, etc. That is understanding. Enamored by Cupid means that he became eager to find his young intelligence fixed in Dharma in his previous state, but he did not see her. So Jiva wanted to reassociate with one's own dharmic intelligence, saying that no, somehow I made a mistake without listening to you, but hereafter I will listen to you. I will not perform any sinful activities hereafter. So it's like that. According to the story, however, having gone to the forest on the pretext of hunting, he enjoyed with some woman. He then thought of his wife. So in the Puranjana story, um, Puranjana gone to the forest on the pretext of hunting. So one should also see like that. He also spent time with other women. That means the queen was the driver of the chariot. So he went to the forest taking the help of some other driver. Some other driver. So that means some other wife or some other woman. So that is the indication. But after coming home, he again remembered his own wife. So that is understanding. Spiritually speaking, because of the disappearance of the last traces of communication contamination due to committing some sin, though one desires one's previous intelligence in order to act according to dharma, it does not appear immediately. Even though after performing sinful activities, even after performing atonements, even if one want to regain one's previous state of condition, it does not come immediately because the traces of the previous sinful propensities are still there, and the reactions to one sinful activities will continue to haunt for some more time. Even though one may have performed atonement, still the traces of the reaction will be there. Though he wanted to he is looking for his wife, he could not find her immediately. Similarly, even though a jiva, after being atoned for one's sinful activities, one wants to look for one's dharmic intelligence, the dharmic intelligence does not come to him immediately. It will take some time. As long as the traces are there, the dharmic intelligence will not come in the front. So sometime one need to repent thoroughly, regretfully. Then the dharmic intelligence will come back. So that is the understanding. So this is what happens in the case of normal Varnashrama follower. And Srila Prabhupada quotes some verses. In the case of devotees, what happens? He is quoting from first canto, 5th chapter. Taktva swadharmam charanamujam hare bhajan napakvota pate tato yadi yatra kvabadram abut amushyakim kovartamapto bhajatam swadharmata. Even though a person giving up all other religious duties, but one performs takes to bhakti, even if one does not become successful, there is no loss. But performing dharmas and forgetting them in between does not yield anywhere. So that was the meaning of the verse as we studied in the first canto. Here Prabhupada states, the fall of the neophyte devotee from the path of Krishna consciousness down to the material life is described in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, text, Chapter 5, Text 17 by Nardamuni. This indicates that though a neophyte devotee may fall down from the path of Krishna consciousness due to his immaturity, his service to Krishna never goes in vain. However, a person who remains steadfast in his family duty or so-called social or family obligations, but does not take to Krishna consciousness, receives no profit. One who comes to Krishna consciousness must be very cautious and refrain from prohibited activities, as defined by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Upadeshamrita. What are the prohibited activities? Atyahara prayashasya prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashati. All these 6 things are prohibited. They will hamper one's bhakti. So here Prabhupada talks about atyahara, the concept of atyahara, cooking, going to forest for hunting or sense gratification is called atyahara. Too much overeating. So in that way. So then what happened? Antapura Sriyo Prucharad Vimana Iva Vedishat Apiva Kushalam Rama Seshwari Nam Yatapura.
At that time, King Puranjana was a little anxious, and he inquired from his household woman, my dear beautiful woman, are you and your mistress all very happy like before or not?
O King Prachina Barhi, Nardamuni speaking to Prachina Barhi, somewhat dejected because he could not find his wife Puranjani. The king became somewhat dejected. He asked the women of the household, Antapura Sriyo Apruchrad, O woman, are you who attend my queen in good health as previously? So before inquiring the whereabouts of his queen, he is inquiring the whereabouts of the maid servants of the queen. As a gentleman, he is asking, are you okay? Are you doing well as usual? And then he will ask, where is my queen? Did you see her? Where is she? I could not find her in Antapura. Like that is going to ask. So in that way. Are you who accompany the queen situated well? That was the question to the ladies who attend to the queen. So in that way. He then continues. What else he will ask to the ladies? नाततैतर्हि रोचन्ते गृहेषु गृहसम्पदा यदि न स्यात् गृहे माता पत्नी वा पतिदेवता व्यङ्गेरता व्यङ्गेरतैवा प्राज्ञा को नामासीत धानवत् दीनवत्.
King Puranjana said, I do not understand why my household paraphernalia does not attract me as before. I think that if there is neither a mother nor devoted wife at home, the home is like a chariot without wheels. Where is the fool who will still sit down on such an unworkable chariot?
So Prabhupada explains in both the parts. He says that even though one's mind proposes do sense gratification, but one should always consult intelligence directed by the scriptures. If one does not do that, then there is a problem. So, Vishaya Vinavartante Niraharastha Dehina Rasavarjan Rasopessa Param Drushva Nivartate. That was what Prabhupada mentioned in the previous verse. One cannot be unattached to the sense objects unless he finds better engagement in devotional service. Param Drushva Nivartate, one can cease from material activities only when one actually engages in devotional activities. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So now let us see how here Puranjana and Puranjani are going forward. So he is speaking to the ladies who are attending to Puranjani. He is asking, now he is telling to the ladies, now when I am not able to see my wife Puranjani, the queen, now the wealth of the house is not attractive. Without my wife, this palace is no more a place of happiness. If there is no mother or if there is no wife in the house, what learned man would remain in the house? Like a fool. Without mother, without a wife, there is no point in staying in the home. It is like a chariot without wheels. A chariot goes nowhere without wheels. Same way, without mother, without house, without wife, the house goes nowhere. So that means the household activities cannot be accomplished without the help of mother or wife. So for which Srila Prabhupada quotes Chanakya Pandit. He says that Mata yasya grihe nasti bharya chapriya vadini aranyam tena gantavyam yataranyam tata griham. Prabhupada compares, if a person has neither a mother nor a pleasing wife at home, he should leave home and go to the forest, because for him there is no difference between the forest and home. So in that way, Apriyavadini and Mata, if these two are not there, the home is like a forest. So instead of staying in the forest, better go to forest and live peacefully. So that is understanding according to Chanakya Pandit. So let us see what is the meaning of this verse. Puranjana is speaking about, even though the house, the palace is bedecked with so many opulent ornaments and opulent things, but without Puranjani, the entire palace is of no meaning, good for nothing. Now without her, the house is not pleasing. The women of the house are the actions of the Antakarana in their previous condition, inclined to Dharma. The ladies who are attending to intelligence are different activities of the intelligence. The attendants of the intelligence are all different activities performed by the action. Senses are there. So they are also there, but these are all ladies. So the 10 and 11 senses are the 11 commanders, 11 bodyguards. And they have so many female attendants. They are all the different activities of the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, mind and ahankara, etc. All those things. Here the lady specifically with whom he is speaking is, they are all the different activities of the internal senses. Man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana. In that way. Something like that. Which were inclined to dharma. These were at home only. They did not come to forest. So these are all regular attendees. They suddenly appeared. Seeing them, he considered, if the actions of my intelligence remain steady, destroying my present impressions of sin, they can deliver me. Thus he asks how they are. First of all, he is asking, are you faring well? Indicating that I have gone to do sin. I came back. I atoned for my sin. I want to try to come back to my religious code of conduct. But I could not find my wife. But somehow the ladies came forward. So he's asking the ladies, indicating that if the ladies have come means very soon my wife also will come. I have hope. So since the ladies came on their own, he is asking about their welfare. Though I have given you up, I left you behind and went to forest to do sinful activities. No, but now I have came back. Are you well? Are you doing well? So no one else came and attacked upon you, something like that. He's asking.
Somebody performs things. When somebody performs things, if you want to come back to his intelligence doesn't support that like that.
As long as the traces of the sinful tendencies are there, or the traces of the sinful reactions are there, till then the intelligence does not cooperate fully. The dharmic intelligence does not cooperate fully. That means, as you remember, Bhagavad Gita says, Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsha, Sangate Shubhajayate. As long as we are still contemplating on the sinful activities, intelligence cannot keep us controlled. We meditate, we perform sin, we come back, we feel regretful, but we are not completely purified yet. Till the time we are not completely purified, the intelligence somewhat withholds herself and does not cooperate fully. Kind of मान लिया मुझे छोड़ के चला गया आप. So then the ladies are responding. When the king asked, are you doing well? Are you in safe condition? Nobody else came and attacked you. Then the ladies are saying that. But you should become happy by enjoying the material objects. Oh, dear king, having gone to the forest, having enjoyed, you must have been very happy. What is the use of your queen? What is the use of us? What is the use of dharma? No. Why are you looking for us? You have gone to the forest to enjoy, and now you come back and ask for us, our welfare. What is this? You must be enjoying there only. Why you come back again? Something like that. The first line of the answer this. The first line of the verse, answer this. What is that? Na tatai tarhi rochante. Gruheshu gruha sampada. So he says that now the forbidden objects do not give me pleasure. Though I have gone to the forest to enjoy, but now that hunting activity does not give me any enjoyment. So that's why I have returned to my old condition. I only accept now. I came to realization that I only have happiness in your company, not in the forest. So like that is saying. Now, but in the verse it is said that without mother, without wife, the house is like a forest. Who is the mother, who is the wife? In our Jiva understanding, the mother is Bhakti to Lord Vishnu. The wife is intelligence endowed with dharma. So it's like that. The mother is Bhakti Devi. The wife is Dharma personified, the intelligence endowed with Dharma. Venge means without wheels. So without the Bhakti and without dedication to Dharma, one's house is like the chariot without wheels. Chariot without wheels means it can't move anywhere. Without following Varnashma Dharma, without practicing Bhakti, we cannot progress spiritually. That is the understanding. We will remain where we are. We cannot go further. That is the understanding of without wife and without mother. Kva vartate salalana majjantam vyasanarnave yamam uddharate prajnam deepayanti pade pade.
Kindly let me know the whereabouts of that beautiful woman who always saves me when I am drowning in the ocean of danger. By giving me good intelligence at every step, she always saves me.
So having stated the previous sentences, he continues that where is this woman who enlightens my intelligence, who delivers me at every step when I am drowning in the ocean of samsara? Where is my wife? Where is the queen who always looks after my welfare Currently, I am drowning in the ocean of samsara. Now, I only have she as my rescuer. Please tell me where is she? Like that, he is asking them. He is not telling that somehow or other I made a mistake. Now I come to my senses. I want to follow the counsel of my wife hereafter. I will never do that such a mistake. Like that he is asking. Where is she? Like that he is asking to the ladies. The actions of the intelligence, the queen's assistants, are not so helpful. He laments that they are not the intelligence itself. Because they said in the previous verse, you must have been very happy in the forest. Why have you come to the palace once again? Please stay in the forest only. Then he understood that you ladies are not happy with me. You are very angry. My king, my queen will not be so unhappy with me. Please tell me where is my queen? Like that, he is asking them.
This lady attendant will represent what?
Activities
Activities.
that we perform with our mind, intelligence, etc. Ahankaram, Chaitanya. All senses, all activities in one sense. But here specifically, they are serving the queen. So since they are directly serving the queen, they are queen's attendants. They are Puranjani, the intelligence activities in that sense. Puranjana further continues. Puranjana. It is said, Rama Uchu. The ladies reply. Naranata na jana jani mas tvatpriyayad vyavastyati bhutale niravastare shayanam pasya shatruhan.
All
How
the
the woman
women.
address,
Continue, Prabhu.
how the woman addressed the king. O master of the citizen, we do not know why your dear wife has taken on this sort of existence. O killer of enemies, kindly look. She is lying on a ground without bedding. We cannot understand why she is acting like that this way.
Then the ladies replied. They said that, O king, O killer of the enemies, we do not know what your beloved has decided to do. See her lying on the ground without bedding. The queen giving up all the ornaments, giving up all the decorations on her body. She was lying down on the bare floor because she thought that the king had given me up and gone to forest to enjoy with other women. So I don't have any use for the queen, something like that. She is performing only like nonsense. So the ladies are saying that we don't know what she wanted to do. See, she's lying on the floor without any bedding on the floor, on the cold marble floor. So in that way. Nirvastare. Niravastare means without bedding. His heart is her flower bed. Generally, the heart of the jiva is the sitting place for intelligence. She has given that up. The intelligence endowed with dharma is lying on the ground. So since the king had given, without informing the queen, went to the forest. So the queen felt as if dejected. I have been rejected by the king. I don't have any use of these palace opulences. Giving up all the opulent facilities, she was lying down on the floor. So that is like the bed is like the heart in which the mind, intelligence, ahankara, chetana are situated. So since king has given up, the intelligence also given up the heart. It has gone out of the heart. So in that, like that. The dharmic intelligence has left the heart. It is no more in the heart because king left her. So that is equivalent to lying on the bare floor. And Prabhupada says that when a person is devoid of devotional service, one becomes addicted to so many sinful activities. Just like a man without a chaste wife does not execute religious activities properly. Similarly, a human being without Krishna consciousness cannot execute activities properly. So like the Prabhupada says. So Krishna consciousness is so important, without which we cannot perform our activities in a sane condition. Narada Uvacha
Hare Krishna.
Puranjan. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, generally we say that intelligence stays in the brain or in the head. Now, why it is said here in the heart?
No, Mataji, we discussed second canto, third canto, Virat Rupa, many times we discussed. Intelligence stays in the brain is all modern terminology. But according to Shastra, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, these four Antakaranas, internal senses, are situated in the core of the heart. In the core of the heart, there is Paramatma. Adjacent to him, there is Jivatma. And surrounding both Paramatma and Jivatma are the 5 layers of Avidya. Avidya, Asmita, Kama, the Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. And surrounding them, we have the 4 Antakaranas. The first one is Chetana. Second one is Ahankara. Third one is mind. The fourth one is Buddhi. All these are there in the core of the heart only.
Okay, thank you.
The brain, even ourselves, whenever we say that Mansaya, matlab they show to the head. Mind they say in the head. So not exactly like that. Mind is not in the head. The head has the brain substance with the nerve system and all, through which the mental and sensual functions are happening. There is a physical substance. The brain is a physical substance, but mind is not a physical substance. Mind is the subtle element. So in that way. The mind, intelligence, ego, and Chetana. All these four are there in the core of the heart only, along with the soul and super soul.
Okay, so when the soul lives along with him, super soul, and these 5 coverings of 5 avidya, and then the coverings of this subtle body, man, buddhi, ahankar, they all leave the heart.
And also the 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas also live, and 5 pranas also live along with the soul. All these accompany a dead person.
But 5 karmendriya means, you mean subtle karmendriya and subtle jnanendriya.
Yes, karmendriya and jnanendriya means subtle only. The senses are always subtle.
Yeah.
The eyeball is the grass, that is called lakshani. But the eye mechanism is chakshu, that is a subtle sense organ. If you remember 15th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, one of the verses says that Shrotram Shakshu Sparshanam cha Rasanam Granam Evacha Adhishtaya Manaschayam. What is the next? Who goes and for what purpose they go at the time of death? That is mentioned in this verse. Shrotram Chakshu Sparshanam cha Rasanam Granam. The 5 Jnanendriyas. Shrotra means ears. Chakshu is eyes. Sparshanam is touch. Rasanam is tongue. Granam means spell. Cha indicates the 5 karmendriyas. Then manas, mind. Cha indicates buddhi, ahankara, chetana. Shrotram, chakshu, sparshanam cha, rasanam, granam, evacha, manaschaham, adhishtaya. So the mind, intelligence, ego, and chetana, and also the 5 pranas, all these things will enter into new gross body. For what purpose? Vishayan upasevate. In order to enjoy the sense objects, new sense objects.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Like, means you mean all this along with this, whatever we discuss, soul, super soul, 5 coverings of avidya, mind, buddhi, ahankar, chitta, and these subtle sense organs, they all enter the new body.
Yes. No, they all enter into the womb of a new mother.
हाँ, मतलब वही
Yeah.
नया
New
बॉडी
body.
जो भी
New gross
मिलेगा,
body. Yes.
ये
Yes.
पुराना सेट, मतलब ये जो पुराना नहीं बोल सकते, मतलब ये जो कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो रहा है, तो दिस ऑल थिंग विल गो इन द न्यू बॉडी, दैट्स व्हाट.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
The 5 avidya coverings, 4 antakaranas, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and 5 pranas. How many? कितना हो गए?
15 तो इधर हो गया, 19, 20,
24. 5 pranas, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and 5 avidya coverings, 20. 4 antakaranas. 24.
और
These
soul
24,
super.
24 combined together is called subtle body.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, how do the Karmendriyas also enter the other body? The Karmendriyas are limited to the original body.
No, not like that. Even Karmendriyas also we have two sections. One is the gross sense organ, other one is the subtle sense organ. Example is hands. The gross hands are the fleshy hands, which are made with the bones, marrow, blood, flesh, skin. This is a gross sense organ. The subtle sense organ of hands is the ability to move the gross hand, as a result of which it can lift some item, it can give it away, it can collect, it can do cooking, it can do deity worship. The ability to do is the actual karmendriya.
Okay.
The gross hand is part of the gross body made up of earth, water, fire, ether. It's like that. A person who is paralyzed, he still has the gross sense organ known as hand, but he cannot move. The subtle sense organ is stopped functioning. Even if subtle sense organ is there, but gross sense organ is not there, one's hand is amputated. But by putting some plastic items and all, they can still perform the hands. Even though without the gross hand is completely available, still the person can perform hands activities with the help of some additional apparatus. So this is the difference between those two you have to understand.
Yes, thank you very much.
Narada Uvacha Puranjana Swami Mahishim Niriksha Vadutam Bhuvi Tatsangonmattita Jnano Vaiklavyam Paramam Yayau.
The great sage Narada continued, My dear King Prachinabari, as soon as King Puranjana saw his queen lying on the ground, appearing like a mendicant, he immediately became bewildered.
So Narada is continuing the story. He is speaking to Puranjana, saying that's not. He is speaking to Prachinabari. Seeing the queen lying on the ground without regard for her body, Puranjana, anxious to be with her again, became miserable. Seeing his dearmost wife lying on the bare floor without proper clothing, without any decorations, with disheveled hair, he felt very much grief-stricken. Avadutam means giving up respect for the body. Avaduta Vesha means not dressed properly, not decorating properly, not combing the hair properly. Improper appearance, that is Avaduta Vesha. She appearing like Avadut. Seeing that she was injured because of leaving his heart on her own, he thought, I have committed a great offense. So seeing her precarious condition now, King is thinking that I have made a grave mistake. I performed a great sin not taking care of my wife properly. Being anxious to associate again with her, he deprecated his foolishness. In order to pacify his wife, he is actually scolding himself. I am the greatest of all sinners. There is no one like me, and there is no punishment sufficient for me. Like that is going to speak in the upcoming verses. In order to pacify his grief-stricken wife. So in that way. Santvayaan slakshana vacha hridayena vidhuyata preyasya sneha samramba lingam atmani nabhyagat.
The
The
king
king,
with
with aggrieved
agreed
mind, began to speak to his wife with very pleasing words. Although he was filled with regret and tried to pacify her, he could not see any symptom of anger caused by love within the heart of his beloved wife.
Pacifying her with sweet words. Santvayan slakshanaya vacha. Filled with regret. Hrudayena vidhuyata. He himself is feeling so much regret and is pacifying his wife with sweet words. He did not find in her any symptoms of anger caused by her affection. If in generally, if there is mutual affection between wife and husband, if husband goes to some other woman without, and comes back, if the wife comes to know, does the wife remain peaceful? Immediately she shows anger out of affection. But here she is silent. Puranjana is silent. She is not showing. He did not find pacifying her. Okay, filled with regret, he did not find in her any symptoms of anger caused by her affection. Of course, initially she was angry because of which she did not speak, but eventually she became normal. I think it means that eventually she became normal and there was no symptoms of anger. That means she is also pacified by hearing his pleasing words. That will happen much later. But before that, he actually pacifies her. So this verse is actually kind of telling that the Nardaman is telling that he spoke with her in a pleasing manner, as a result of which she became pacified. Then she did not show any more anger. But right now she is angry. That's why she is falling on the ground. Let
Hare
us see
Krishna
what
Prabhu.
it means. Mataji, 1 second, 1 second. Let's see
Yes.
the meaning of this, then we'll take question. By good fortune, my previous intelligence has again appeared. He's telling that this is Jiva's understanding, but Puranjana is telling that by good fortune I have found my wife again, without whom I will become unfortunate. He repeated this in his mind. He could not see in her anger caused by affection. For a moment he thought, why did I commit those sinful activities? Actually, when he come to his wife remained silent. She did not show any symptoms of anger. If she is really angry, she will shout, she will scream, she will beat, she will throw all the articles in the room at him, something like that. But she is not doing anything, any such things. So, matlab, it is gone to that extent that she decided to give up her affection to him. So she does not want to talk to him only, either positively or negatively, out of affection or without affection in any way. She was completely dejected, as if she was completely neglected. So she was feeling very bad for what happened. That's why he is thinking that, why did I commit such a sinful activity? That my wife does not want to see me, does not want to talk to me even in an angry mood also. Even the wife talking to husband in angry mood is also kind of affection. Not talking means complete neglect. Does not want to talk to him only. So that's why you are feeling very bad. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. He has given away his material intelligence. Till now, he's not got the dharmic intelligence back. Now, who is guiding Puranjan at this time? In between stage.
He heard words from the Brahmanas. So having heard the words of the Brahmanas, which tell that you should never give up the dharmic intelligence, you should be with your dharmic intelligence, you should follow the dictates of dharmic intelligence. Then he's looking for the dharmic intelligence. So in the current case, because he is the king.
Uh,
So, I mean, see, when you take the story, you should see it as the two people.
No, I agree. Intelligence is
Ah.
two: material intelligence, dharmic intelligence. Now he
Yeah,
gave
but
away his material intelligence, and dharmic intelligence is still not got back as yet. Okay, he is in between now.
so wait. When you are talking about king, you only talk in terms of the queen and other ladies. When we are talking about the jiva, we should talk about dharmic intelligence or materialistic intelligence.
Okay, I'm talking about the jiva.
Ah, jiva had given up the materialistic intelligence,
Yeah.
but he had heard from the brahmanas who came to perform atonement ceremony, who took charities from him, who instructed him in good manners, good conduct. So with that, he wanted to regain his previous dharmic intelligence. So, but dharmic intelligence saying that you have given me up, why you want me once again? मैं नहीं आप फिर वापस में छोड़ेंगे मुझे आपको मुझे मैं नहीं आऊंगा आपके साथ.
No,
But
even
it's
when he
going.
went to, even
Hmm.
before he repented and gave charity to brahmanas and all those things,
Hmm.
something guided him back to come back to senses, isn't it?
Okay,
Something
mind is
guided
there.
him
Na?
back.
See,
Okay.
you take the story kind of thing. It's not that every activity has to be guided by intelligence. Sometimes mind is there, ahankara is there, every remaining all are there.
Okay.
Everyone is there around. So
I
in
thought
that,
without intelligence, discrimination is not possible.
no, he is not a dumb person in that sense. The dharmic intelligence is that function of the intelligence which guides us in what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, scripture,
That
scriptural
discrimination.
intelligence.
So sometimes without the function of discrimination, also there are other functions also are there, na?
Okay.
Intelligence has many functions.
Okay.
So in that way, all other things are there. All other things are guiding him. So like that. As we studied from the beginning that intelligence has 11 commanders. So one of the 11 is mind. So the commanders will guide him. So when king is there is queen also, there are ministers also. Sometimes he takes consultation from the minister, sometimes he takes consultation from the queen also. So both are there. So in that way.
Okay.
So for some time, since she is not saying anything, she does not even looking at the king. The king felt as if she's, will she continue to stay with me or not? So he is actually regretful for his mistake. Why did I commit such a sinful activities? My queen is feeling completely lost. So like that he was feeling. So he continues now. Anuninnyet shanakairviro anuninnyet shanakair viro anunayako vidha pasparshapadayugalam aha chostangalalitamam.
Because the king was very expert in flattery, he began to pacify his queen very slowly. First, he touched her feet, then embraced her nicely, sitting her on his lap, and began to speak as follows.
The king is glorified as Anunaya Kovida. He is expert in conciliation, expert at pacifying his queen. That we saw in the first chapter also. He glorified the queen like anything. Gradually, the hero, expert at conciliation, appeased her. He touched her 2 feet and putting her on his lap, spoke. So since she was lying down on the bare floor, of course she has clothing, but her feet is without chappal or without something like that. They are touching the marble, which is very cold in the winter season, something like that. He immediately went to her feet, touched her feet in order to pacify her. He lifted her 2 legs and he sat cross-legged. He kept her 2 legs on his palm, lap so that she will not feel cold. So in order to pacify her, he is doing all these things. He appeased her saying, from today, I will no longer use my intelligence for enjoying sinfully. The Jiva is telling that from today onwards, I will not utilize my intelligence for doing sinful activities. Her 2 feet represent giving up ahankara and respecting the devotees. The king sitting cross-legged, keeping the 2 feet of the queen on his lap. Lap only, na? Is called as giving up ahankara. 1 feet represents giving up ahankara. Previously, the king thought that I am the king. He went to the forest to hunt only because of one thing, pride. He had that pride, because of that only went there. I am so religious, I can do whatever I want. Thinking like that, he went to forest. So now he is giving up that ahankara. And the second leg represents respecting the devotees who teach good conduct, good manners. What to do, what not to do. That means accepting the words of devotees means he henceforward I will not perform any more sinful activities. Like that. He put on his lap means he put her back in his heart. The jiva put the dharmic intelligence back in his heart. Right now, because since he had taken shelter of the sinful intelligence, the dharmic intelligence left the heart of the jiva and went away, went out and lying down on the streets. So he again brought back that dharmic intelligence into the core of the heart. So that is the understanding. Are you able to follow the storyline in both the cases, Puranjana story and Jiva story?
Rohit, there is one confusion in this, that here we are saying that he is saying that from today I will no longer use my intelligence for enjoying fully. We are in the allegory that the religious intelligence is the Puranjani, means his wife.
Yes.
So here, like, what kind of a thing is there? Like, he's telling I will no longer use my, means he's telling his intelligence, his religious intelligence, that I will not use my intelligence for enjoying sinfully. So thoda confusion hai.
No confusion. Who is Puranjani?
Religious intelligence of Puranjan.
Only intelligence? Only intelligence?
Then what?
She is also Chetana.
She is also Chetana also. Okay. Okay, no, all this while I was feeling only the religious intelligence is Puranjani.
No, we were discussing from the very beginning. Buddhi is both intelligence as well as Chetana. From the very beginning. Puranjani, which is used as Buddhi in the Sanskrit, Buddhi represents both intelligence as well as Chetana. So that intelligence also has multiple functions. So the Chetana is only one function, that is abiding by Dharma. But intelligence sometimes abides by Dharma, sometimes has material functions also. Intelligence also has different functions. But Puranjani, the queen, represents the Dharmic intelligence and the Dharmic Chetana. But the king can have multiple wives.
Prabhuji, this confusion is
Dharmic intelligence, other wife, other wedded or non-wedded wife represents adharmic intelligence.
Okay.
So like that we can take.
But like we are saying that Chitta means Chitta and this Buddhi, both is included in the Buddhi. But at the same time, when we talk of subtle body, we say there are 4 coverings, which includes Chitta, Ahankara, mind and Buddhi. So there we separate Chitta and Buddhi. And here we are combining Chitta and Buddhi. So then again confusion.
No confusion, Mataji. In Sanskrit, what do you mean by Atma?
Soul. Jiva.
Only soul.
Jiva.
Kindly remember Bhagavad Gita. Atma used for what all things. Sometimes Atma used for soul, sometimes Atma used for Ahankara, sometimes Atma used for intelligence, mind, even for senses, even for body also Atma is used. Atma word is used.
Okay, okay. You mean word Atma is used for. Okay.
So don't get confused. When we are discussing about the 24 elements, the 4 subtle elements, that is a different subject matter. That is about the different distinctions. Here, according to storyline, the Puranjani represents the combined functionalities of Dharmic intelligence as well as Chetana. That you take. But intelligence also has different additional functions also. They're represented by other queens. So like that, why don't you see? When Puranjana went into the forest, the chariot need to be driven by some driver. The driver is other ladies, other
Other
lady,
kind of intelligence.
other functions of the intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, non-dharmic intelligence.
Yeah. So in that way.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So right now he came to that queen. In order to appease her, first he touched her 2 feet and kept the 2 feet on his lap, indicating that now onwards I will never act being impelled by my pride. I'll give up my ankara. I will, and then he says that I will act only as per the dictates of devotees. That is a symbolic representation of keeping both the legs on his lap. And also, for in the case of Jiva, keeping both the legs on one's lap means bringing back the dharmic intelligence into the core of the heart once again, who was left behind previously. Now Puranjana is speaking to the queen in a pacifying manner. The entire rest of the chapter is all about how did he pacify the lady. Puranjana uvacha nonam tu akrita punyaste bhrutya eshu ishvara shubhe कृतागशु आत्मसात् कृत्वा शिक्षा दंडम न युञ्जते.
King Puranjana said, "My dear beautiful wife, when a master accepts a servant as his own man, but does not punish him for his offenses, the servant must be considered unfortunate."
So now he's telling what was the condition that he's telling now. Oh auspicious woman, if a master does not punish his servant to instruct him when the servant commits a sin, because he considers servant as a dependent, the servant should be considered unfortunate. Generally, the master who considers the servant is his own belonging, when the servant makes a mistake, the master chastises or punishes. Just like when a child makes mistake, the parents punish. Why? The parents consider the child to be theirs. They don't want the child to make mistakes. The master does not want the servant to make mistake. Here the king is telling that, my dear queen, you are my master, I'm your servant. Because he's touching her feet, he's holding her feet. Only the servant touches the feet of the master. So holding her feet, holding onto her feet, keeping both the feet on his lap. I think he might be massaging her 2 feet. He's telling that you are like my master. I am like your servant. When I make a mistake, you should punish me. Since you are not punishing me by scolding me or by shouting at me or by throwing some articles at me, I am a most unfortunate person. I think you are not considering me as your servant. So, like that is pacifying the queen. Dear wife, you have punished me by your anger. This is your mercy to teach this foolish servant who has committed offense. I will never give up in this life. He says this in 2 verses by introducing general principles. Of course, the queen's anger is so much because of which she is not even speaking to the king. So ultimately, the king will take it positively only. But in order to pacify her, he is saying like this now, what is said in the verse. Considering the servant to be dependent on him, the master does not punish the servant in order to teach him. That servant is unfortunate. If the master punishes the servant for correcting the servant or for the betterment of the servant is fortunate servant because master is immediately correcting. If the master does not correct, that means master has given up the servant. So when I have given you up, why should I correct you? Jao, jidhar jana udhar jao. Those who get punished are fortunate. I have been punished and consider myself fortunate. So like that, when punishment is given, one considers oneself fortunate. That means generally the wife and husband, they speak something, it is actually intended something else. So my dear wife, you are not speaking to me. I'm so unfortunate that you are not even trying to punish me. The other meaning is that you are so angry with me to the extent that you cannot speak to me. I am sufficiently punished. Thank you very much. You accepted me as your servant. If I were to be somebody else, if that somebody else goes to do some sinful activity, why would someone else will become angry? Since you have become angry even to the extent that you don't want to speak to me, that means you love me the most. I am thoroughly punished. I will never ever do this kind of sinful activity. So like that. On the spiritual level, the devotee thinks, though I am reformed now, he invited the Brahmanas to perform reformatory activities. He gave charity to the Brahmanas. He heard from the Brahmanas. He is telling that though I am reformed now by doing all these atonements, it is difficult to bear the public criticism and dissatisfaction in my heart caused by those temporary sinful acts. From my side, I performed atonement, I have been purified. But the public will remember what sin I have done. They keep reminding me of that sin. They will not forget what I have done. And in the core of my heart, whenever somebody criticizes me, I will also become painful. My heart becomes painful by remembering those things. That means the traces of the sin, even though in spite of being performed after performing atonements, they will not go away that just easily. Either people remember, or within one's own heart one remembers, or when people remind him of those, one feel pained. Either oneself one remember that I have done that I should not have done, then feeling like that one might become painful, or when somebody reminds him, हाँ उस दिन क्या किया हमको पता है. So something like that. The Supreme Lord himself has punished me to teach me. I will not give up proper intelligence again in this life. Because of that public criticism, because of the proper regretful mentality within one's own core of the heart, that devotee thinks that the Lord is thoroughly punishing me by not allowing me forget those sinful activities. If one forgets, one that is gone forever, but one is not forgetting. One is keep reminded by the people or keep reminded within one's own heart. He is saying that Lord is thoroughly punishing me by making me remember those sinful activities, either by myself or by public. So he addresses the intelligence by his mind in 2 verses. Thinking like that, he is speaking to the Jiva is speaking to the intelligence, saying that hereafter I will never ever make such kind of mistake. I will never leave you behind. I will always follow your good and kind suggestions. So like that. Paramo anugraho dando brutteshu prabhunarpita balo naveda tattanvi bandhu krutyam amarshana.
My dear slender maiden, when a master chastises his servant, the servant should accept this as a great mercy. One who becomes angry must be very foolish not to know that such is the duty of his friend.
So here the king further continues. O slender woman, the punishment awarded to the servant by the master is the greatest mercy. Only a foolish person will become angry at his punishment because he does not know it is done out of friendship, out of one's own well-being. When a servant makes a mistake, when the master punishes, the servant should feel happy. Instead, if the servant becomes angry, there is no better foolish than that person. So that is the understanding. That's how here the king is telling that you have become angry. If I also become angry, there is no foolish fool fool than me. There is no better fool than me. So by not speaking to me, you have thoroughly punished me. I am the most fortunate person. Even though I left you behind, I gone to forest to enjoy, but you are feeling so sorry about me. That means you love me so much. So like that, something like that. The victim of punishment who laments is a fool. Amarshana means one who becomes angry. The devotee speaks internally to good intelligence. What does the devotee say? I have given up good intelligence and now repent. That is my punishment given by you. It is the highest mercy to me, for I will not become attached to sin again. Since you does not want to speak to me because I have made a sin, I am very much regretful about this particular situation. Hereafter, I'll never ever do another sinful activity. Please speak to me. Like that is begging the dharmic intelligence. The king is trying to pacify the queen by saying the master servant analogy. He further continues. Satvam mukam sudati subru anuraga bhara vreda vilamba vilasas dasitavalokam Neelala kali berupakrishtamun unnasamna swanam pradarshaya manasvini valgu vakyam.
My dear wife, your teeth are very beautifully set, and your attractive features make you appear very thoughtful. Kindly give up your anger. Be merciful upon me, and please smile upon me with loving attachment. When I see a smile on your beautiful face, and when I see your hair, which is as beautiful as the color blue, and see your raised nose, and hear your sweet talk, you will become more beautiful to me, and thus attract me and oblige me. You are my most respected mistress.
Yeah, he is pacifying her, saying that, oh beautiful woman, show your face with beautiful teeth, brow, and nose, with sweet words and languid, bright, smiling glances, indicating attachment and shyness, decorated with black locks like a swarm of bees. My dear wife, why are you lying down on the bare floor without any proper dressing and proper decorations? Kindly get up and decorate yourself nicely. I want to see you in your beautifully decorated form. Like that is saying. Having given punishment, now you give mercy. You have thoroughly punished me. Now please be merciful upon me. You are my mistress. You have languid, bright, smiling glances showing attraction and shyness and sweet words. So kindly do not be like this. You have punished me thoroughly and forgive me. And please get up and dress yourself nicely with cheerful smile and shying glances. So in that way. The devotee prays, that is certainly my previous intelligence. May she become favorable and steady. So Jiva prays to that. Oh, my dear study intelligence, till now you are guiding me very nicely. And though I have made a mistake, please forgive. I have come back to you. So please resume your previous state of condition. Like that, the Jiva is requesting the dharmic intelligence. So that dharmic intelligence will continue to guide him, continue to provide all Krishna conscious suggestions. Like that, Prabhupada writes in the purport. The intelligence supposed to guide us in Krishna conscious thought process. So that's what the Jiva requesting the intelligence. The king continues. Tasmin dadedamamaham tava veera patni yonyatra bhusurakulat kritakilbishastam Pashena vita bayamun muditam trilokyam anyatra vai muraripur itaratra dasat.
Oh, hero,
Oh,
why?
hero's wife, kindly tell me if someone has offended you. I am prepared to give such a person punishment as long as he does not belong to the Brahmana caste. But for the servant of Muraripu, Krishna, I excuse no one within or beyond these three worlds. No one can freely move after offending you, for I am prepared to punish him.
Yeah, here is telling that, oh, wife of a hero, you are not a ordinary woman. You are the wife of a king. You cannot be like this ordinarily. Queen supposed to be decorated very nicely, gorgeously, and with golden mukut and diamond studded mukut, etc. etc. You are without any decorations and you are not properly dressed properly. Like that is telling. Oh, wife of a hero, except for the Brahmanas and for the Vaishnavas, I will punish anyone who has offended you. If your current situation is because somebody came and offended you, tell me who is that? I'll punish anyone and everyone except the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. I do not see anyone in the three worlds who can remain fearless and joyful in my presence other than these two. Except for the Brahmanas and for the Vaishnavas, even all the way up to Indra, I can chastise if they have offended you. As a result of which, you are lying on the bare floor. In order to pacify her, he is speaking chivalrously. I can do anything for you, except on the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. I can fight and defeat and bring them to your feet if they have offended you in any way. Please tell me who is that? I am here, your servant. I am ready to do whatever you want. Like that, he is telling. The meaning is, oh, wife of a hero, you are the wife of a king. I will punish whoever has offended you because I belong to you. Aham tava. I am dependent on you. But I do not have power over the Brahmanas and servants of the Lord, servants of Lord Vishnu. So Nardaman is telling that I have no power over the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Puranjana is actually Prachina Barishad, who would not break the rules established by his father and grandfather Prutu. The rule was his order was unchallenged anywhere. He had authority over the entire Bhumandala except the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. This is from the 21st chapter of the 4th canto. So the rule of the Prutu Maharaj was mentioned. In that time, everyone is afraid of King Prutu. Because he is so powerful that everyone is afraid, except Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Except on the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, everyone, he could keep everyone under control. Same thing Prachina Bari are supposed to follow. And in the story, Puranjana also supposed to follow the same thing. So like that. If some Brahmanas have come and scolded you, because of which you are lying down on the floor, I cannot do anything for that. But if it is somebody else, I am here to punish them. Please tell me who has done something. This is like pacifying. King also knows that he made a mistake. But in order to pacify her, he's telling that this is what happens now. When small children walking or running, they suddenly fall down. What do the mother says? Huh? A mother beats the floor. I'll punish. She called you harm, something like that. That is just to pacify the child. It is a mistake in the child's only. So in that sense, child means here in the case, the mother is not overlooking. King Prutu would not punish or take taxes from the Brahmanas or from the Vaishnavas. Other than these two, I do not see anyone in the three worlds or beyond the three worlds who can remain without fear and give and have great joy. That offender will die out of fear of me. If other than the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, somebody had offended you and gone somewhere else, they cannot be happy for a long time. I am here to go and chastise them and give them thorough punishment. You don't worry. Please tell me who are they. I will do the needful immediately. The king is trying to pacify the queen. Even though mistake he only did, he is trying to pacify her by saying that I'm here to do anything you want in that way. But spiritually speaking, the following is implied. If the Jiva is speaking, if I have faults because of old impressions of committing sin, I will perform charity, I will perform vows, and I will perform pious activities to atone for the faults. If I have done some sinful activities, in order to atone for them, I will give charities, I will take up some vows and austerities, and I will also perform some other pious activities so that my sinful reactions will be cancelled. The sinful impressions will be taken away. But if an obstacle has arisen from the anger of a Brahmana or by an offense to a Vaishnava, that is difficult to remove. If I have angered a Brahmana, if I have offended a Vaishnava, it is very difficult to nullify that. Other than that, if I have performed any sinful activity, that can be nullified by performing atonement. अपराध के लिए कुछ नलिफिकेशन नहीं, बट पाप के लिए नलिफिकेशन है. Like that, the Puranjana is saying, the Jiva is saying, except for offenses to Brahmanas and to the Vaishnavas, I can make atonement. The only relief from offending these two is their mercy and nothing else. He speaks with pride at being able to approve irreligion in the last two lines of the verse. My dear intelligence, if you are not happy with me because I have done sin, I can atone for any sin except for offense towards Brahmanas and offense towards Vaishnava. That can only be attained by their own pleasure. Unless until they forgive me and they are pleased with me, I cannot atone for that. But otherwise, any other sinful activity, I can atone by undertaking some prayachitta rituals. So that's how he says. You follow? Hare Krishna, devotees online?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
I mean, though it is story happening between two people, we can also see. So even if some mistake we do, somehow or other we can atone for it. But the mistake is toward the Brahmanas and toward the Vaishnavas, we cannot atone for that. Only when they are pleased with us, when they themselves forgive us and forget the mistake that we have done to them, that is the only way we can become free from the reaction.
When you say you're asked to follow the 4 principle, it's all under path of sin.
4 principles are not doing sin. Not following principles means doing sin. Meat eating is a sin. No meat eating, no sin. Gambling is sin. No gambling is no sin. Intoxication is sin. No intoxication, no sin. So like that. Next. Vaktram nate vitilakam malinam viharsham samramba bhimam vimrushtam ragam pashestanau api suchopahatau sujatau bimbadaram vigata kunkuma pankaragam.
My dear wife, until this day, I have never seen your face without tilak decoration, nor I have seen you so moral and without luster or affection, nor I have seen you, your two nice breasts wet with tears from your eyes, nor I ever before seen your lips, which are ordinary as red as bimba fruit without their addition.
He is further saying that I never see your face without tilaka. Till date, your forehead is nicely decorated with beautiful tilaka and so many nice marks, etc. etc. Without tilaka. Instead, today I'm seeing your entire face is soiled, filled with dust, because she was sleeping on the bare floor, which is not cleaned. Soiled and devoid of joy, frightful with anger, dull and without affection. I never see your splendid breast soaked in tears, or your red lips without beetle stain. I have never seen your face like this, so dejected, so neglected. Please get up and do the needful. I never see your face without tilaka. Now I see it without tilaka. This is my misfortune. I never see you without red lips stained with beetle. When the queen is eating beetle nut, the lips will be red. So he was telling that today you have not eaten beetle nut. So in that way, the present condition indicates that the intelligence is not pleased as she was formerly, because she did not decorate herself in a nice manner. That means she is not in a happy mood. Same way, the intelligence is not in a happy mood. Instead, it is in dejected state of condition. So it's like that. So Prabhupada says, nice point. When one's consciousness and intelligence are without brilliant thoughts about Krishna, they become morose and lusterless. So much so that one cannot drive any benefit despite sharp intelligence. So in that way. So nice decoration means Krishna conscious thoughts. Other thoughts might be there, but Krishna conscious thoughts are not there. That means the body is not decorated nicely. The face is not decorated nicely in that way. Then finally, with the last verse, the king says, Tanme prasida suhruda krutakilbishasya swairam gatasya mrugayam vyasanaturasya kadevaram vasagatam kusumashtra विसृष्टपुंशनं विसृष्टपुंष्णमुशति न व्यजेत कृत्ये.
My dear queen, due to my sinful desires, I went to the forest to hunt without asking you. Therefore, I must admit that I have offended you. Nonetheless, thinking of me as your most intimate subordinate, you should still be very much pleased with me. Factually, I am very much bereaved, but being pierced by the arrows of Cupid, I am feeling lusty. But where is the beautiful woman who would give up her lusty husband and refuse to unite with him?
So here the meaning is be kind to me. Enough is enough. Not angrily, in a positive mood is saying that. Thank you very much for punishing me sufficiently thoroughly till now. Kindly get up and become normal. Like that is saying. Be kind to me. Your friend suffering from attachment who committed sin by going to hunt on my own. For amorous activities, what woman would not embrace her husband who is under her control, whose independence has been shattered by the agitation of Cupid's arrow? He is telling that he prays for the mercy of his wife. Devaram, beloved means beloved husband, means he who bestows amusement. Ra Deva, Devaram. His independence as a man has been shattered by the agitation of the Cupid's arrow. Who would not accept such a husband for affectionate activities of love? It describes directly meeting with a dharmic intelligence. So he's telling that generally, normally the husband is like what we can say, always commanding or demanding. The wife becomes submissively. The wife remains submissive. But here is telling that I have become your submissive servant. So which wife do not like a submissive husband? I am submitting myself to you completely. Please become cheerful. Hereafter, I will never ever do anything on my own. I give up my ahankara. I give up my pride. I give up my position as a husband. Now I'll accept as a servant of you. I will listen to you, everything that you say in the future. That means the Jiva says that by utilizing my free will, I have committed sin only. But hereafter I will not utilize my free will. Instead, I will follow you, O dharmic intelligence. Please guide me. Be pleased and reside in my heart. I am uncontrollable, having committed sin by going for hunting and killing. Good intelligence should be situated with me. If you don't guide me now, if you don't take care of me further, I will again go and do sinful activities. For my welfare, please be merciful upon me. Please take care of me by becoming my master and advisor. He expresses this principle by a particular question. Just as a woman does not give up her lover who has done wrong, just because the husband does a small wrong thing, the wife does not give him up. Because now the husband realized and is submitted to wife, so she will accept him. Similarly, oh intelligence, you should not give me up. Oh good intelligence, should not give me up. Please accept me and guide me and take care of me hereafter. So like that. So this is how he is pleading his wife so that she will become pacified and she will become cheerful. So Prabhupada says that there is a need for man and woman each other. So when both of them are helping each other, so their life will be happy. Similarly, when the intelligence and intelligent both are in cooperation with each other, a person becomes joyful. When they are not cooperating with each other, there is misery always. It's like that. So this is how the Puranjana has pacified his wife because she was feeling neglected by her husband. So in that way. Hare Krishna, any questions till now?
Hare
No
Krishna,
questions.
maybe from previous verses it is there, like last time's class. 1 minute.
In the meantime, any other devotees?
This is from the previous chapter. Can I ask now, Prabhuji?
Quickly.
Yeah, like in the 35th verse no, of the 25th chapter, it is said that when a living entity gives up this material body, the vital force still remains intact and is carried to another material body. That is called transmigration or change of the body. And we have come to know this process as death. So then my confusion is that if a person dies, prana lives, but where it stays till it enters the next body.
Wherever the soul stays, they simply accompany the soul. They don't go here and there. Wherever the soul travels, the soul might go to Yamalok, there might go through the punishment, then might go to Swargaloka, there it might enjoy, then comes down and takes shelter of the clouds, then through rain comes down to the earth, enters into the plant, takes shelter of the roots and fruits. When they are eaten by man or animals, they will enter into the body of that male animal or male person, then take shelter of the semen, then enter into the womb of a mother or female entity, then get the new gross body and takes birth. It is a big procedure.
Okay. And what we discussed today, so in light of that, this vital force is same or equal to the subtle body, the 24 things which we discussed.
No, vital force is prana.
Okay, the
The
five
five
pranas.
pancha pranas. The five pranas.
Okay, okay,
Five pranas means breathing.
okay, okay, fine.
Okay.
Thanks. And this 26th chapter may the third verse may it says that body has 5 working senses, namely the hand, legs, tongue, rectum, and genitals. So tongue we consider as a knowledge acquiring sense, na Prabhuji?
No, tongue that speaks. The speech is the karmendriya. Tasting
Okay,
is the jnanendriya.
okay, okay. So both kind of function tongue has.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Correct.
At the end, if you have time, I have some questions from the previous chapter, so I will
Okay,
ask
okay.
that.
Okay, 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 no
Thank you.
problem. Any other devotees have any question? Otherwise, we'll take a small break now. Okay, we'll take a small break and then we'll meet again after a couple of minutes. Hare Krishna. Devotees are there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare
Brahma.
Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
We'll continue with chapter 27, where Puranjana enjoys his life. After pacifying his wife, what happened next? That will be discussed in the next chapter. The 27th chapter describes how Puranjana, endowed with proper intelligence, performed pious activities, but became afflicted by old age and disease, which is described through another story. So his intelligence was, his wife was pacified, and both lived together for many years. They begot children, they're married, they have children, they played with grandchildren, etc. So many things happened. In the meantime, without being noticed, the old age came, disease came, and in the next chapter they will die. 28th chapter they will die. In the 27th chapter, they are becoming old. Their entire life is explained. How it is explained? The dharmic jiva, encountering some obstacles, becomes contaminated internally by various sins. This was the previous chapter, previous chapter 26. The dharmic generally was dharmic jiva, but because of some sinful tendencies, he went to forest and performed sin of killing the animals and enjoying, etc., etc. But after coming home, he regains his intelligence and performs pious activities such as charity, vows, atonements, etc. However, because the contamination does not leave his mind, he becomes torn apart by constant regret. A dharmic jiva goes through constant regret after performing sinful activities. By good fortune, he again attains his proper intelligence after pacifying her. He passed just like the king pacified the queen. The dharmic jiva pacified the dharmic intelligence. This has been stated in the previous chapter. Now the current chapter will describe his household life with proper conduct and intelligence. Intelligence rules by dharma as previously. As he promised to his wife, saying that I will never ever leave you. I will always follow your order as a submissive servant. That is what he did for the entire life. As he promised, he did it. And what did they do in that situation? How did their entire life passed? That is the subject matter of this chapter. Narada is continuing the story. Narada uvacha ittam puranjanam sadryog vashamaneya dharmana vashamaneya vibhrama puranjani maharaja reme ramayati patim.
The great sage Narada continued, my dear king, after bewildering her husband in different ways and bringing him under her control, the wife of King Puranjana gave him all satisfaction and enjoyed sex life with him.
O king, Puranjana's wife, who gave him enjoyment, enjoyed with her husband, Puranjana, who was completely controlled by her charming actions. From there on, since he submitted humbly and she was very happy with her husband, Puranjana, he was completely controlled by her affectionate actions. Giving up the inclination for sinful life, the jiva becomes attached to dharmic intelligence as before. After regret, the dharmic jiva continues to follow the instructions of dharmic intelligence and lives happily. As long as there are no sinful activity, there is no chance for misery. It is only because when we do sin, there is misery, punishment, regret, all these things. When there is no sin, life is peaceful. Religiously, when somebody is leading a religious life, one lives peacefully. That is what is indicated. So Prabhupada writes many details about how to beware of the sinful tendencies. So many points are mentioned in the purport. We'll not discuss all the points, but some points I'll tell. In the second paragraph, Prabhupada writes, a sinful life can be counteracted by various processes of religion, such as yajna, dana, vrata. That is, the performance of sacrifices, the taking of vow for some religious rituals, and giving of charity. In this way, one may become free from the reactions of sinful life and at the same time awaken one's original Krishna consciousness. And then couple of lines later, Prabhupada writes that a systematic family life is enjoined in the Vedas. That means it is recommended in the Vedas. Is better than an irresponsible sinful life. A systematic life following the rules and regulations of the Vedas is better than materialistic sinful life. Because people who follow Vedic rules and regulations remain happy. Not following, they may temporarily enjoy, but they eventually go through misery only. As Lord Krishna also mentions in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one verse he mentions about this, and also one of the future chapters, 18th chapter, happiness in the mode of passion. Vishayendriya samyoga yatadagre amrutopamam paraname vishamiva tastukam. That's in the mode of passion only I'm taking. Here, this is like passion. Tastukam rajasam smrutam. So Vishaya Indriya Samyoga, initially by enjoying the sense objects, one may feel Amruta, but eventually it leads to Vishamya, Paraname Vishamiva. That is Rajasic Sukha. Same way, 5th chapter also it says that, na? What was that verse? Dukkha yone evate. Yei sansparshaja bhoga, dukkha yone evate, adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Intelligent person does not take part in materialistic sense gratification because only in the beginning it gives happiness. Eventually, it leads to misery. But if the enjoyment is done according to rules and regulations of the Vedic literature, then there is no sin. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshaba. That dharma which is not really contrary to religious principles is me only. So that is what one is need to understand. So in that way. So even at the end also, Prabhupada read the last paragraph. The conclusion is that a household life is better than a sinful life devoid of responsibility. But if in the household life, the husband becomes subordinate to the wife, involvement in materialistic life again becomes prominent. In this way, a man's material bondage becomes enhanced. Because of this, according to the Vedic system, after a certain age, a man is recommended to abandon his family life for the stages of Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Of course, this is from current day scenario. One should not remain at home. At one point of time, one should take on to renunciation. If not physically, at least mentally, one should renounce one's propensity to enjoy in the household order. So in that way. So Nardamuni continues. Saraja Mahishim Rajan Susnatam Ruchirananam Krita Swastayanam Truptam Abhyanandad Upagatam.
The queen took her bath and dressed herself nicely with all auspicious garments and ornaments. After taking food and becoming completely satisfied, she returned to the king. Upon seeing her beautifully decorated, attractive face, the king welcomed her with all devotion.
The first verse told in summary what happened afterwards. Now second verse onwards, the details are mentioned. After king spoke in the previous chapter, how did the king respond? O king, the king welcomed the satisfied queen or the pacified queen with attractive face who had bathed, dressed auspiciously, and then approached him. So following the words of the king, she went and took bath, dressed nicely, and decorated herself nicely and came back to the king. Seeing the happiness of his dharmic intelligence and freed from contaminations in his mind, he felt himself successful. When the dharmic intelligence again returns to the jiva feels, I am successful. Now I can follow dharmic lifestyle. Like that.
Dharmic intelligence is different from being a devotee. Is it the same?
In the story is about Puranjana. Puranjana is a dharmic person primarily, a devotee internally. He is basically, we can say, he is like a karma yogi. He is not a devotee completely. Karma yogi means bhakti nishra karma. He has bhakti also, but bhakti is a secondary activity. For him, the main goal is practicing varnashrama duties. He is a karma yogi, or more so sakama karma yogi in the current description. So in that way, that's why we always talking Puranjani as dharmic intelligence. Dharmic means according to varnashrama system. Bhakti is there, but bhakti is a secondary process, not the primary process. So in that way. So when the dharmic intelligence comes back, the jiva feels I'm successful. Now I will have no problem. He feels happy. तयोपगूढा परिरब्ध कंदरो रतो नुमन्त्रैरुपकृष्ट चेतना न कालरंहो बुबुदे दुरत्ययम् दिवा निशेति प्रमदा परिग्रहा.
When Puranjani embraced the king, and the king also responded by embracing her shoulders. In this way, in a solitary place, they enjoyed joking words. Thus, King Puranjana became very much captivated by his beautiful wife and deviated from his good sense. He forgot that the passing of days and night means that his span of life was being reduced without profit.
Embraced by the queen, held by the neck, attracted in his mind by her private jokes, captured by the woman, he was not aware of the power of the insurmountable time of the passing of days and nights. Being captivated by the attractive looks and talks of the queen, the king completely forgot whether it is day or night. Lot of time has passed as they spend time together with each other. He was attracted by her private pleasing words. He lost his intelligence for crossing samsara because of mantras concerning dharma and karma. See, kindly see, just now Binit Prabhu asked the right question. Here Puranjani is only dharmic intelligence. The dharmic intelligence will tell one to perform dharma, artha, kama. It does not inspire us to work for moksha. So, here Puranjana is enjoying with Puranjani. That means the jiva, with the help of the intelligence, only performing dharma, artha, kama activities. By the way, lot of time has passed. He did not work for attaining moksha. So it's like that. So he lost his intelligence for crossing samsara because of mantras concerning dharma, artha, and kama. Yam imam pushpatam vache pravadanti avipachita. Vedavada ratapartha nanyat astiti vadina. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya purut chetsa. What was then? Kriya Vishesha Baulam Bhogeshwarya Gatim Pratik. So in that way, direct like that. So that aspect of the intelligence or the Chetana, which inspires one to take up bhakti seriously, that has forgotten. Instead, that aspect of the intelligence which governs one in practicing dharmartha kama, the king forgot the track of time. How much time passed he also does not know, because he was completely submerged in executing the dharmartha kama activities. He was not aware of the force of time because he had no detachment. He was not aware that day had passed and night had arrived. He spent time in the association of his wife. Puranjana spent time in association of his wife, or Jiva spent time in performing dharmartha kamas one after the other. Just like the Prachina Bari was performing yajna after yajna without noticing how many years passed. He was performing, he was making plans to perform more and more. So that's how Narada Muni is telling. How much time passed, no track of that. So like that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees are able to follow?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
I
yes,
had a
Mataji.
question. That does Dharma, Artha, Kam promote only dharmic intelligence, promote only Dharma, Artha, and Kam, and moksha is promoted by bhakti? Is it something like that?
No. The dharmic intelligence. See, here in the current discussion is all keeping Puranjana in mind. The discussion is going on. But in generally, even if you see around us also, in India, in one sense, at least in your generation, all people are quite dharmic. In our generation and the current generation, people they don't know what dharmic also. The understanding is entirely different. At least in your generation, every family members are quite dharmic. They were always afraid of doing sin, not missing cultural activities. They would celebrate all the festivals thoroughly. They would congregate together on the festival days, etc. They were all quite dharmic. Even though they are quite quite dharmic, they might be performing all the festivals. They might be conducting all the religious events, but they may not be so much interested in practicing bhakti activities. They might go to Pandharpur, they might go to Balaji Bal temple. It is as a ritual they would do. So going to Vishnu temple also, if they consider the ritual, that is dharma. It is like varnashram dharma. But going to Vishnu temple as with complete surrender is bhakti. That means they also have the some emotions of bhakti, but for them following that ritualistic while performing them with ritualistic attitude is more important than bhakti attitude. Bhakti is there but hidden. So in that way. No, it's not karma mishra bhakti. It is bhakti mishra karma. It's like in a glass of milk, there is only 1 spoon of sugar. Little bhakti, but 99% karma
Karma.
or dharma. Karma means dharma. Dharmartha kama.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
pious lifestyle. Traditional Indian lifestyle, what we can say.
Yes, thank you.
So that's what our Puranjana is doing. So such kind of people does not, pay attention to the detachment. Even till the last breath, they do the same things. So whenever there is some festival, giving some charity, attending the festival, and going to visiting temple regularly on weekends, that they say, why, what else? और क्या करने का? काफी हो गया, इतना हो गया और क्या? सत्संग program हमको जरूरत नहीं. We already know. If we, especially in this December month, if we say Bhagavad Gita, they say, no, we already know Bhagavad Gita. We don't need any book. That's where they limit themselves. Because that is what they were taught in the childhood. And they understand there is nothing more than that. Na anyat asti iti vadina. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The traditional Indian society is like that.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Oh, yes, Mataji. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
But the devotees have detachment. Even though they are performing activities in relation to Dharmartha Kama, but they are not so much interested in enjoying. They do those activities because they are supposed to be done. They are mainly focused on moksha. So that is the difference.
Bhakti Mishra Karma.
So what others do is Bhakti Mishra Karma. What we are doing, Karma Mishra Bhakti. We also perform all the religious duties, but that is not our main priority. We do all those things because we are supposed to do. So that because as a responsible householder, we are supposed to do all those things. We do. But our main priority is to practice bhakti. We do perform bhakti activities every day, day in, day out. Throughout the day, feedback is there in our hand.
It is also not aspired by a devotee.
See, don't take moksha from that context. Moksha means going back to Godhead, like that you take. For others, wherever, moksha means going out of the material world. So in that way, some want to go to Sahaja, some others want to go to Vaikuntha. Either want to go to Brahman or go to Vaikuntha, both are outside only. It's according to their desire. But that is also okay. Prabhuji, we have 5 kinds of mokshas. Sahyajya Mukti, Sarishta Mukti, Salokya Mukti, Saurutya Mukti, and Samipya Mukti. According to your like, choose one. No problem. Multiple choices are there, 5 choices are there. Take anyone. No issue. That moksha laltas means no Sahyajya Mukti. They are not interested in Sahyajya Mukti. They are only interested in other 4 muktis. So in that. Shayanagunnadda Madho Mahamana Mahartatalpe Maharhatalpe Mahishi Bujopadi Tameva Viro Manute Param Yatas Tamo Vibhuto Nanijam Param Chayat.
In this way, increasingly overwhelmed by illusion, King Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, remained always lying down with his head on the pillow of his wife's arms. In this way, he considered woman to be his ultimate life and soul. Becoming thus overwhelmed by the mode of ignorance, he could not understand the meaning of self-realization, of his self, or of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Here one nice analogy is mentioned. Kindly pay attention. This gives us complete understanding. Lying down on a valuable bed, okay, on the pillow of his wife's arm, Puranjana is sleeping on the arms of his wife, accepting the arms of his wife as a pillow. Under extreme illusion, generous in giving charity, he thought his wife to be the ultimate goal in life, not the Jiva or the Supreme Lord, because he was defeated by ignorance. From Narada's point of view, the attitude of Puranjani or the attitude of the Dharmic intelligence, which is inspiring that Jiva to perform Dharma Artha Kama, is ignorance. Because purpose of human life is not just to perform Dharma Artha Kama. Purpose of human life is to come back to Godhead. When one is not endeavoring for going back to Godhead, that means one is in ignorance. So this is the devotee term. Now, Narada Muni is directly speaking. So what is the meaning of lying on the bed, accepting the arms of his wife as a pillow? Let us see. He made a pillow his wife's arms. He thought that association with his wife was the goal of life. Puranjana considered to be in the association of his life is with his wife is the goal of his life. That's what he does not want anything else. He just want to be in the association of his wife. That is the success of his life. That's what he thought. That's what he's doing now. He did not consider himself or anyone else because he was defeated by ignorance. He has no second thought because he was defeated by ignorance. From the Narada's words, it is ignorance. What is the meaning of ignorance? And what is the meaning of he does not thought about anybody else? The spiritual meaning is that because of association with dharma represented by his wife, dharma means dharmartha kama. Because of the association with dharmartha kama represented by his wife, he became attached to dharma, that is sakama karma yoga, sakama karma. He only performing sakama karmic activities, and that became his goal of life. Yam imam pushutam vacha pravadanti avipachita. Vedavad Arthapartha na anyat asthiti vadina. He is considering that there is nothing else in the Vedas other than this. Only is perform dharmartha kama. Perform dharma, go to Swarga, enjoy again, perform, come back again, perform dharma, go to Swarga, come back. And so that is only goal of life rather than liberation. He is not considering liberation to be one of the important aspects to be followed in the life. He is not giving any heed to that because he did not know himself as Jiva. Puranjana is thinking himself as the king only. He is not thinking himself as the soul. Or in the case of Atma, the Atma is thinking only himself as the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. The intelligence, mind, ahankara, chetana, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, the five pranas, the entire body made up of the pancha mahabhutas. They are meant to give me enjoyment because I am the enjoyer. He is only submerged in the consciousness of enjoyer, enjoyment. He forgot that he is Atman. And he forgot that there is someone called as Paramatma. Avijnata Saka. There is a friend. He is unknown friend. He is there in the core of the heart only. He is not worried about himself only. Then how will he worry about the Paramatma who is sitting next to him? He is only interested in enjoyment. It's like that. He became engrossed in Dharma and thought of performing charities only. Because he is only interested in Dharmartha Kama. He is sponsoring for temple construction. He is sponsoring for constructing roads. He is sponsoring for the digging lakes. He is sponsoring for this, for that. He is following vrata after vrata. He is performing yajna after yajna. But he is not interested in practicing a sadhana which will give one moksha. Either to practice jnana or ashtanga yoga or bhakti. He is not interested in them. He is only interested in performing sakama karma. That is dharmartha kama. That means he slept on a valuable bed. He was engrossed in pious activities. Being engrossed in performing such kind of pious activities means sleeping on a soft cushioned bed. He made a pillow of his wife's arms means he was covered by ignorance. Ignorance means sakama karma or dharmartha kama. He is sleeping on a pillow made by the arms of his wife. That means he considering his life's goal is only to practice dharmartha kama. In that only is feeling happiness. In that only is finding satisfaction. So this is how the Puranjana spent his entire life in performing dharmic activities only. We are not talking about sin only here. But Nardamuni says that is ignorance. Hare Krishna, someone is saying something.
No, Prabhuji.
You could follow what Nardamuni is saying here. All of you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So basically, he is spending his entire time with his wife. That means the jiva is only performing the activities of dharmartha kama. By dharmartha kama means giving charities, doing this, doing that, performing vratas, all these things. But leading a pious life, but not interested in science of self-realization and trying to understand who Bhagavan is and trying to serve him, etc. Those things is not. That's why Nardam is saying that is in ignorance. Tayaivam ramamanasya kama kashmala chetasah kshanardam iva rajendra vyakti krantam nayam vayau.
My dear King Prachinabari, in this way King Puranjana, with his heart full of lust and sinful reactions, began to enjoy sex with his wife, and in this way his new life and youth expired in half a moment.
O king, with his heart soiled by lust, as he enjoyed with his wife, his youth passed away. Navam vaya vyatikrantam, in half a moment. Kshanardam iva. So he has spent many years in the company of his wife. And after having passed so many years, he felt just now so much time passed away as if half moment. So like that. This is mentioned in the previous canto also. Even Kardama and Devahuti, having traveled in the airplane for 100 long years, they felt as if one day travel only. That's how the time goes on. And Prabhupada goes into ecstasy in this purport. He talks about so many things. Just like, in the association of a woman, a man forgets themselves. They forget the goal of their life and they lose track of the life. So Prabhupada quotes Govinda Das Tagore. Yedana Yavana Putra Parijana Iheki Ache Parititire. Kamala Dalajala Jivana Talamala. Bajahu Mana. Bajahu Haripada Nitire. So it's like so much time has passed, just like a water droplet falls down from the leaf. So it's like that. So Prabhupada goes into all the details, what exactly happens, how it happens. So, but here the understanding is Puranjana spent many years or many decades, in fact, as if one moment has passed. How time passed, they don't know only. That's how time passed. Tasyam ajanayat putran Puranjanyam Puranjana Shatani Ekadasha Vira Ekashatani Ekadasha Virad Ayusho Ardham Atatyagat.
The great sage Narada then addressed King Purushnisha. O one whose lifespan is great, that in this way King Puranjana begot 1100 sons within the womb of his wife Puranjani. However, in this business, he passed away half of his lifetime.
He said that King Puranjana bore 1111 sons. 1111. Ekadasha Shatani Putran. Kitna?
110.
1100 sons. Okay. Ekadasha Shatani, yes, 1100. Ekadasha Shatani Putran. 1100 sons. That many sons he had begotten in his wife. In this way, half his life passed. 50 years passed in that way. In 50 years, he begot 1100 sons. Virat is the king or the Jiva. He passed 50 years in sex life and material enjoyment. Begetting children, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. That means with the dharmic intelligence, the Jiva performs 1100 pious activities in 50 years of lifespan. That is understanding. In our case, the pious living entity of a typical India performs 1100 pious activities over a period of 50 years.
Just pious activities. पहले का जो वर्ष है उसमें सिंपल चीज आता है काम आकाशवाणी की कसम इसमें सिंपल जैसा है
Huh?
next number 5 says काम आकाशवाणी की कसम and why you correct आकाशवाणी की कसम
With his heart soiled by lust. Kama Kashmala Jesa means being attracted to perform dharmartha kama. उसमें कामा है ना? हाँ. What is the purpose of human life?
devotees and self-realization.
But here who is speaking? To whom he is speaking? How can he bring detachment in him? Not by glorifying dharmartha kama. He has to condemn dharmartha kama. By condemning dharmartha kama only he can bring detachment in prachina bari. Otherwise it will never come. If Narada Muni also continues to glorify dharmartha kama, then when will the Puranjana will retire? When he will practice bhakti? So in that way. So this verse talks about how many sons he begot, how many pious activities the pious religious jiva performs. The next verse talks about daughters. Daughters indicate the dharmic qualities a person cultivates or endowed with. Duhitrir dashottara pitru matru yashaskari Shilaudarya gunopeta Pauranjanya Prajapate.
O Prajapati, King Prachina Parishat. In this way, King Puranjana also begot 110 daughters. All of these were equally glorified like the father and mother. Their behavior was gentle and they possessed magnanimity and other good qualities.
O Prajapati, Puranjana begot 110 daughters. They were generous, full of good qualities, and full of good qualities and behavior and good behavior, and giving fame to their father and mother. That means all the pious activities that Jiva performs, all the activities are endowed with all these good qualities. All these activities were performed generously, filled with all good qualities and good behavior. Giving charity is one thing, but giving charity with good behavior is the additional quality. And giving charity is one thing. Giving charity generously is another thing. Giving charity happily is one thing. Giving charity grudgingly is the other thing. So in that way, the daughters indicate the good qualities. The sons indicate good activities of the jiva in association with the intelligence. He had daughters like shame, enthusiasm, and thoughtfulness. The number of sons was more. 1,100 daughters, 110, sorry, 1,100 sons, 110 daughters. So 110 good qualities, 1,100 good activities. So in that way. The number of sons was more because it is considered proper in household life to have more sons. The daughters had good qualities because of their previous pious acts. Because they were his daughters, they were called Pauranjanya. So in that way. There is no limit to the activities in that sense. But qualities, जितना भी काउंट करो उतना ही क्वालिटीज रहेगा, ज्यादा नहीं रहेगा in that way. पांचालपति पुत्रान् पितृवंशा विवर्धनान् धारै संयोजयाम आसा दुहित्रा सादृशैर्वरै.
After this, King Puranjana, king of the Panchala country, in order to increase the descendants of his paternal family, married his sons with qualified wives and married his daughters with qualified husbands.
So in the previous two purports and this purport, Prabhupada goes into details about household life. So how things happen. So many things are there. You can read. But let us go with the storyline. Now he begot sons. He begot daughters. King Puranjana, the lord of Panchala, in order to increase the descendants of his paternal family, got his sons married with wives and got his daughters married with husbands. Also responsibility household Prabhupada, that is you only write that. It is the duty of the householder to get their children married to, not just married to equally disposed personalities in a religious family in that sense. That is what he did. He got them married. The wives were consideration, determination, etc. The grooms were humility, affection, etc. The sons were pious activities and their wives were consideration, determination, etc. Activity can be performed with determination, consideration, whether this should be done or not. Determination के साथ पूरा complete करने का तभी activity होता है. So they are like the wife. And the daughters were good qualities. Okay. And their husbands are humility and affection. The good qualities should be displayed with humility and with affection. Humility के बिना good quality display करेगा तो नाटक सोचेंगे लोग. Without affection करेगा तो फिर भी लोग सोचेंगे ये नाटक कर रहे हैं, ये ड्रामा कर रहे हैं सिर्फ. So they are like the husbands. Humility and affection are the husbands of the good qualities. And then after their marriage, what happens? They will have children. That is mentioned. Putranam chabavan putra ekaikasya shatam shatam ervai pauranjano vamsha panchaleshu samedita.
Of these many sons, each produced hundreds and hundreds of grandsons. In this way, the whole city of Panchala became overcrowded by these sons and grandsons of King Puranjana.
each son produced 101 sons, by whom the dynasty of Puranjana increased in the Panchala states. So when we perform pious activity, that pious activity lead to another pious activity, that leads to another pious activity, like that. The things will go on. That's what it happened here. The sons of the sons were the pious acts, etc. Panchala refers to the sense objects such as sound. The number of activities are continued on, continued on. तेषु तद्रिक्तहारेषु गृहकोशानुजीविषु निरुद्धेन ममत्वेन विषयेषु अन्वबध्यता.
These sons and grandsons were virtually plunderers of a King Puranjana's riches, including his home, treasury, servants, secretariat, and all other paraphernalia. Puranjana's attachment for these things was very deep rooted.
He Puranjana became attached to enjoyment, retinue, treasury, house, and his plundering sons because of deep-rooted possessiveness. What do you mean by plundering sons? Huh?
Because means whatever parents earn, so most of the time till the children are there on their own, they use the whatever resources are collected by the parents, and even after the parents are gone, they will only inherit all the property whatever the parents have acquired. So in fact, they are only enjoying with whatever hard-earned money the parents are taking. So in that sense, they're used as plunderers.
No. In the case of Jiva and in the case of Puranjana, you tell. Don't get into the current day situation. Why Narada Muni calling them as plundering sons? Here Benith Prabhu says that they steal away his time.
They make him more entangled in the material life, no? And they plunder his spiritual wealth.
Does he really has any spiritual wealth?
नहीं मतलब वहां तक पहुंचने ही नहीं देते. That's what I mean.
That is. Because the parents have natural affection for the children. So children, raising the children, getting them educated, getting them married, and playing with their children, raising them, getting them educated, getting them married. Like that, the whole life goes in the household activities only. There will be no time for moksha, attaining moksha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it means that they steal away his spiritual inclinations.
Yes. They do not leave any time for spiritual practices. In the case of Puranjana, the sons are being mentioned. In the case of Jiva, who is attracted to Dharmartha Kama, his whole time goes in performing pious activity after pious activity. There is no time to practice bhakti. So, just like the Puranjana son stole away his time, the Jiva's time will be stolen away by the pious activities. There will be no time or inclination left for practicing spiritual activities. So that is understanding. And this is happening because of affection and possessiveness. Because the father loves the children. The Jiva loves dharmic pious activities. That's how it is taken away out of affection only, out of possessiveness. It's not out of, they are not like thieves coming and robbing him. He himself is submitting to them because of one's own affection, one's own possessiveness. So like that. He became attached to sons such as discrimination, who stole his treasure of pride to his life heirs and his strength of mind and senses. That means as it is mentioned in the previous chapter, he already vowed his wife. Hereafter, I will never exercise my hankara. I am your submissive servant. Whatever you say, I will follow. So following the dictate of his wife, He dedicated his entire life in the service of his wife and children. So he lost his own existence. That means his own pride, to his life airs and his strength of mind and senses. Everything he gave to his wife and children. He has nothing left for himself. So in that way, we have to understand. So just this theme will be over. Just we'll do these two verses. Ije chakratu birgo rair दीक्षितै पशुमारकै देवान् पितॄन् भूतपतेन् नाना कामो यथा भवान्.
The great sage Narada continued, My dear king Prachina Barishat, like you, King Puranjana also became implicated in so many desires. Thus he worshipped demigods, forefathers, and social leaders with various sacrifices which were all very ghastly because they were inspired by the desire to kill animals.
Having many desires, nana kama, he worshipped the devatas, pitrus, ghosts, using violent sacrifices with animal slaughter, just like you. Today is Gita Jayanti here. In the temple, we have recited Bhagavad Gita in the morning. 17th chapter, Shraddha Taya Vibhaga Yoga. The people in the mode of goodness worship devatas. In the mode of passion, they worship Yaksha Rakshasas. In the mode of ignorance, they worship Bhuta Preta Pishashas. So here in this verse, people in the mode of goodness worship devatas. People in the mode of passion worship Pitrus. People in the mode of ignorance worship Bhuta Preta Pishashas. Okay? Using violent sacrifices with animal slaughter, just like you, Yata Bhavan. Puranjana, following the dictates of his wife, performed so many pious activities. What kind of pious activities? He was worshipping devatas, worshipping Pitrus, worshipping the leaders of the ghosts, Bhutapati, Lord Shiva, and Mother Durga, by various animal sacrifices, just the way you are doing, my dear king. All these activities took away his entire lifetime. There is only one meaning here. I am telling a story about you, my dear Barshad, Prachinabari. I have hidden the meaning only to make an example of you. By indicating just like you, not that, I am telling your story only. It is not somebody else's story. So in that way. And finally, Nardamni says, Yukteshu evam pramattasya kutumbasakta chetasa asasada savaikalo yo priya priyayoshitam.
King Puranjana being attached to fruity activity, as well as kith and kin, and being obsessed with the polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at the point not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things.
So finally, Nardamni says that inattentive to beneficial acts. What are the beneficial activities? Activities connected to moksha, which are really benefiting the soul, and absorbed in family life. Kutumba asakta chetasa. He reached old age, which is disliked by the women. Yeah, apriya priya yoshitam. The woman does not like the old age of men. He was inattentive to things beneficial for him, like bhakti and detachment. He was never giving sufficient amount of time to practice bhakti or developing detachment. By the way, so much time passed, he became old. The old age is disliked by the woman since it is unfavorable for enjoyment. So this is how Puranjana, after submitting himself to Puranjani, spent a lot of time, many years. We don't know. By 50 years, he begot 1,100 sons, 110 daughters, and few more years later, after they became youthful, they got married, and now he became old, maybe 75 or something like that, we can say. So this is the situation where his wife is no more liking him. In all these purports, in every purport, Prabhupada actually takes the opportunity to scold us. The people who are attracted to this sense gratification, they are fallen down and they have no hope to come up. One should give up, one should practice Krishna from the very beginning. In every purport, Prabhupada hammers. No sense gratification, no karma, no jnana, no yoga, only bhakti, only bhakti, only bhakti is the way back home to Godhead. So taking the opportunity. So it's like that. So we'll stop here. Sorry for the late. That this theme is over, so I brought all the way here. We'll continue tomorrow afternoon. Hare Krishna, okay? We'll stop here.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So devotees can leave. I mean, we'll stop here. Mataji, you have some question you said?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I'll just tell you. Prabhuji, in the 25th chapter, 26th verse purport, I am reading that in that it is written that in the human form, one should utilize his intelligence by asking all these questions, like from where I have come and all those questions he was asking to the Puranjani.
Yes.
Just as Puranjana, the living entity is asking the unknown girl where she has come from, what her business is, why she is present, etc. These are inquiries about Atma Tattva, that is self-realization. So the conclusion is that unless living entity is inquisitive about self-realization, he is nothing but an animal. So means because it is been equated with the about inquiring about the soul, where from the soul has come and what is his duty and etc. like that. That is why this comparison with the self-realization is there. उसमें थोड़ा
No. Here Puranjana is inquiring the Puranjani. Who are you? From where you came? Who are your parents? What are you doing here in this palace? Instead, we should ask the question, who am I? From where I came? What am I doing here? That should be the right question as Sanatana Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Shiksha. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya 21st chapter, I think. 21st or 20th chapter. Ka ami kena tapatrai. My dear Lord, who am I? Why am I going through all these tapatrai? For which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the answer, Jiva Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. You are Jiva. Jiva Swarupa is Krishna Nityadas. And why are you going through tapatrai? Because you forgot that you have taken shelter of Maya and Maya is giving samsara deya dukkha. Krishna buli bhogavancha kori.
कृष्ण भूलिया जीव भोगवांचा करे अतएव माया तारे
deya samsara sukha. It's a samsara dukkha. So that's why one is going through tapatraya. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answer there. That should be the right inquiry instead of inquiring about the queen. Who are you? What are you doing here? Who are your parents? Will you marry me? I mean, are you married? If not, will you marry me? Not like that.
So that inquiry, what you mentioned from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is the self-realization question that we should be interested in. That's what it means.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Instead of inquiring others who are they and how are they, we should inquire who are we and how are we. So like that.
And in the 26th verse, now Prabhuji, that snake means the 10 strong servants and the snake which was following the Puranjani. So there it is said that all these, however, depend on the vital force, which is here represented as snake, and it is like a plaything. So I didn't understand if snake is a vital force, means it is without that the life cannot exist. So why it is considered as a plaything? Or in Puranjani's case, the snake was following just like a. But there also mentioned that that snake.
Forget about all these things. The snake is our breathing. Without breathing, can we do any activity?
No,
That's why it is
nothing.
called plaything. Plaything means it is the source behind all our play here.
Okay.
So
Okay,
like
so
that.
play means whatever activities we do that are termed as
Ah,
play.
yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Praveen.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.